This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Welcome to the Research Talks podcast here on Stockbox with Alan Green, where we've missed a couple of weeks, Alan. We've had a slight little break, haven't we? Mainly because the markets as well are taking a break and investors as well. But we are back. How are things with you?
Things are very good, thanks, Mark. Yeah. The markets certainly have been taking a break, haven't they? It has been a very, it's been a difficult and quiet time, I think, because obviously there's an awful lot going on in UK politics at the moment. We have inflation, we have the Ukraine invasion, and of course, the re-emergence of, well, I say re-emergence, it never really went away, did it? COVID, of course, which is...
is that rife in the UK, is it?
Well, it is, yeah. Infections are on the increase, and there's this new strain now, which is supposed to be resilient. But then again, every new strain is more resilient, and certainly we know people who have had sort of a mild dose of COVID 3 or 4 times now, and they still keep on getting it. It's really strange, and although touch wood, so far I had it once early this year, and it's not come back. So. Okay. But yeah, those factors combined, it's been a quiet but difficult summer. But the weather, of course, has been fantastic. We've had this heat wave, which is wonderful, and I am planning on going and jumping in the sea at the weekend.
Planning on jumping in the sea in the weekend. Okay, excellent. Have you been having a barbecue yet with the tea towel on your head like last year?
No, I've not. Not actually. Funny enough, that's something that we sort of planned to do, and then something's cropped up, and we've not actually had a barbecue this year yet. So we'll definitely be indulging probably this weekend, I would imagine, or certainly if not the weekend after that for sure.
Yes, excellent. No, you are right. It's been very, very warm. It's not. We've not had the heat over here in the Netherlands, but certainly I was in London earlier in the week, and that was extremely warm, particularly travelling around on the underground. I'm not sure how people can cope with that on a regular basis. It was incredibly warm. But,
I was also up last week too, and certainly the trip up and down on the Victoria line from Green Park. It's like jumping into a sauna on that little tube.
Yeah,
horrible.
Indeed. But today we're going to be doing a special. It's a First Class Metals special. And of course, this is a company that is IPOing soon. So we're actually talking about a pre-IPO at the moment, which is nice to get a bit of a insight and background into this company that is IPOing in this current market. So yeah, over to you, Alan. Please tell us all about First Class Metals.
First Class Metals own a portfolio of assets in the Schreiber-Hemlo Greenstone Belt in mining-friendly Ontario in Canada. The flagship North Hemlo asset is being developed as part of a joint venture with TSX-listed Palladium One that owns the award-winning Tyco nickel, copper and cobalt project, which is adjacent to North Hemlo. The company is coming to the London market with a standard listing, raising $1.5 million at a valuation of $6.5 million.
One of the great things about First Class Metals is that the company got its listing application in prior to the LSE deadline for companies sub 30 million, and that was December 3rd last year. So they got their application in, and they're listing with a valuation of 10 million, but it's on the London main market, which will of course give them many advantages in that regard. So I'll just quickly discuss the board first of all, and then we'll look at what the company is about. We have the chief executive, Mark Sale, who's Mark's been in the mining industry for 25 years. He's worked on project exploration and assessment in Africa, America, Europe, Australia, and so on. He's been on the board of many companies: Branco PLC, Gold Mines of Sardinia, Patagonia Gold, Landor Resources, and has a vast amount of experience in developing early stage companies and developing them through from explorers into exploration into production. The executive chairman, James Knowles, of course, Mark, you and I both know James. He's a corporate professional, 25 years in financial services. Debt funding is his speciality, but he's a seasoned resource company investor. So James very much understands it from the retail investor standpoint, and that's a very good thing for a chairman to have, because it's important when that company communicates to investors that it does so in a fashion that retail investors are familiar with it and understand. So James is, of course, across that. Ayub is the executive director. He's again very much front-facing. Ayub was at the recent PDAC conference in Canada, talking to investors over there about the opportunity. Dinesh Verma, I've known Dinesh personally for many, many years. He's on the board of many companies. He's a finance director and, of course, independent non-exec. He's on the board of Northgate Exploration, Menco, Westfield Minerals, and also holds directorships with Labrador Iron Mine Holdings, Canadian Manganese Company. So between those three already, you've got well, certainly with Mark Sale and Dinesh, you've got a lot of experience operating in Canada and a good understanding of the jurisdiction and of course the governmental requirements and opportunities when it comes to running a mining company. Other non-execs include Mark Bamber, and Mark Bamber, of course, is well known in corporate finance and the IR sector, involved in hedge funds, capital markets, and institutional investing. And Nicholas Lee, who is non-exec director, many years of experience in international and investment banking. So that's the team. The company's coming to market with an IPO valuation, as I say, of about 10 million. That is imminent. So First Class Metals are operating in Canada, and specifically the Great Lakes in Canada. Of course, the biggest lake of all is Lake Superior, and on the north coast of Lake Superior, right up in the north, you have the Hemlo-Schreiber Greenstone Belt, which is a very fertile piece of territory. In fact, it's a vast piece of territory. You've got it's covered in lakes and forests, and it's a perfect hunting ground for geologists and explorers. And of course, it is such a vast area that the opportunities out there are almost limitless. And indeed, as we'll see as we go as I talk through this, that you'll see that there are companies operating in the area already that are achieving considerable success in bringing opportunities there, creating access and bringing the opportunities to market. So the north and central, located in north and central Ontario, this the actual belt, or the Hemlo-Schreiber Greenstone Belt, is in the Wawa Abitibi the terrain, and it's as I say, it's been long renowned as a playground for geologists due to its tectonic diversity. Famous mines, of course, include the Hemlo Gold Mine, which is owned and operated by Barrick Gold. The Misha Open Pit Mine, which is run by Wesdome. Eagle River, also run by Wesdome. Wire Lake, and there are just almost limitless numbers of ore bodies in the ground there that have been identified, and it's this vast fragmented territory, as I say, which has countless lakes. So First Class Metals have a package of licenses and operations which have already acquired a considerable value, and these are sort of close to the main asset, which is the North Hemlo asset, is close to the Barrick Hemlo Gold Mine. So of course the geological terrain there is very there's a lot of continuity, and the geological features and anomalies are contiguous across the area. So the Hemlo deposit at the Hemlo Gold Mine is some 23 million ounces, and the the North Hemlo package itself covers several territories, which are adjacent to other operators. Most notably, of course, we have Palladium 1, which has two prospects to the northwest of the mine, the Bulldozer prospect, of course, and the Smoke Lake prospect. Palladium 1 has undertaken a lot of work. It's actually drilling is currently underway on the Bulldozer ultramafic intrusion across what's called Palladium refers to as the Tycho property, and through the magnetic surveys they've undertaken there, they're seeing chargeability anomalies. So it's when you pass a magnetic charge over the area, it'll show up, and of course you'll get these wonderful different colors on the map, which indicate where the metals in the ground are likely to be. And certainly, Palladium 1 has developed both the Bulldozer and Smoke Lake properties and taken them forward. So. First Class Metals has the North Hemlo prospect includes the Pickle Lake asset, in which there are some 32 separate cells. 6 anomalies have been identified, and these are prospective for nickel, copper, and platinum group metals. In addition, we have the Dotted Lake asset, and of course, Dotted Lake is run and owned by Panther Metals. Of course, Darren Hazelwood's a regular contributor to Stop Bogs. His company are developing the Dotted Lake asset. And of course, there are Hemlo explorers also operating in the region, some 200 meters south of the Hemlo North asset. So First Class Metals have developed this. They're taking it forward, and indeed, we expect to see some results from the asset in the very near future. I'm just looking at some slides as I'm talking here, Mark. I said 32 cells across the entire property. There are some 427 single cell mining claims. So it's actually a huge asset, and several showings at North Hemlo are considered to merit exploration, and really to tie in also with the operations from the companies Palladium 1 and Panther. So we then come to the next asset that the company owns, which is ESSA. Wait a second, I'm just bringing the slide up. So ESSA is there are some 86 claims covering 20 kilometers. Now ESSA is also located northeast from the Barrick Hemlo gold mine, but it's much closer. It's just 11 kilometers, so that's about 6 or 7 miles. So going back to the having those geological anomalies, the way the intrusions under the ground, the geography of the region as a whole, these anomalies will run for many hundreds of miles. So it's very contiguous with the geology that's been discovered at the Barrick Hemlo gold mine. So this property sits between Cedar Lake and the Musha Lake, and the intrusives there are effectively driving mineralizing fluids into pockets, and of course it's these pockets of mineralization that are identified through the magnetic surveys. And indeed, on the First Class Metals website, there's a video that takes you through the discoveries and what's already been discovered at each of the assets owned by First Class Metals. ground exploration has already identified a number of volcanic boulders, which are also anomalous in trace elements in the area, and it's also the ESSA prospect is unusual in that it's between. It's actually sited between granite monoliths, and of course, where you've got batholiths, not monoliths. What am I talking about? So you've got these granite batholiths, and of course, between those batholiths, you have a shear zone where these pockets of mineralization can form, and certainly that the work that's been undertaken there already. Kaminali Gold identified a shear zone a number of years back between the two, and a magnetic survey undertaken by Golden Prospect also indicated the presence of mineralization in the area. Also important with ESSA, given that its proximity to the Hemlo gold mine, there's excellent road access to the property. And as we speak, the review of historic data has already been taken, of course, and targets have been identified at ESSA. So work will be progressing as the year progresses at that prospect. So we then come to the next package of assets, which we have Sugar Cube, and Sugar Cube is an asset which is to the west of the Hemlo gold mine, and this is closer to the Heart Gold 1 million ounce sugar zone gold mine. Again, an aerial magnetic survey was conducted, highlighted significant structures. Again, this video on the website, on the First Class Metals website, is very good because it shows those anomalies quite clearly in the slide presentation, and a ground reconnaissance at the site was recently undertaken, identified a lot of sulfide-rich sediments and these sediments were not on the historical data from the area. So that, of course, is very encouraging, indicates that the prospect could be larger than had been initially thought. So the planned work for that prospect is further magnetic surveys over the whole of the claim block, and further groundwork, mapping and sampling as required going forward. We then have a number of other assets which are to the west of to the west in the Schreiber Hemlo Schreiber greenstone belt. We have Cocoa East. Cocoa East, of course, is they're located on also on geological trends that have delivered historical showings on either side across these interpreted trends. There's a fault running through the southern part of the area, which an extension of this fault runs through the North Gold Zone and also Cocoa East. Perch Lake West, a grab sample from that territory revealed a sample of 1.8 grams of ton gold, and that's just a random grab sample. So that's obviously very encouraging. Doesn't mean to say that every piece of land that you grab there is going to deliver the same result, but that nonetheless, that's a pretty good start. Also, a lot of historical data across these three. That's Cocoa East, Magical, and Enable. Again, there'll be some further ground exploration undertaken as the year progresses. And of course, the First Class Metals team are very keen to get on the ground and get going. So it's a very potent package of assets, and of course, as I mentioned with the Barrick Hemlo gold mine, the access to the area. There are lots of logging roads in the region. There are lots of access points, and with the other operators in the area, and also with in terms of Canada being the vast space it is, the asset package owned by First Class Metals is very focused and relatively close together. So from an access access standpoint. Access to all the territories is great, and of course, we're going to as the companies operating adjacent to the assets deliver their results, it provides a stronger rationale for a company like First Class Metals to get in there and maybe accelerate its own process, given that these anomalies run through and are contiguous with the other assets and operators in the area.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, you can clearly see on the website there, the map, where there's a lot of projects, isn't there? A lot of land packages that they've assembled there for this IPO, all within the Greenstones area of the Schreiber Hemlo region, which of course where Panther Metals are quite excited about the projects they have over there. So looks like a lot of projects there, but also with plans to hit the ground running as well on a certain few to kick off once IPO'd.
Absolutely. Well, I also there's the other project that I want to discuss there too, which of course is the McKellar project, and again this is a further 58 claims covering 11 kilometers, and again this is to the west of the Barrow Hemlo mine, and again multi-ounce silver occurrences across the region, and the company has plans to sort of to get on the ground there and accelerate that exploration. As I say, given the relatively close proximity of all of these assets, it's easy for the team to get on the ground and probably within a couple of weeks get across and get around all the properties without breaking too much of a sweat. But certainly, I think it's the fact that you've got so many other operators in the area. It's these land packages are tied up. They're all 100% owned by First Class Metals. There's an awful lot of value in the company, and of course, these are a lot of these assets were originally identified by Paul Johnson and the team at Power Metal, and of course they saw the opportunity, and with the team they put against this, the team they've assembled, it's there's a lot of potential here, and I think when the company comes to market, when the team gets on the ground and we start to see these results coming in during quarter 3, quarter 4 this year, I think we're going to see some real value emerge from this package.
Okay, excellent. And you said what, a valuation of 6.5 million, did you say?
Yeah, that's right, Mark. A valuation of 6.5 million, and they're raising 1.5 million, 1.5 million at IPO. But of course, as often happens with these exploration companies, if an asset starts to reveal more than was originally thought, there's opportunity. Particularly, I mentioned Palladium One. I think they're the most active operator in proximity to the North Hemlo asset. There's drilling underway already. They're identifying further anomalies through the magnetic surveys that are being undertaken, Tycho itself it's won awards for its potential as a prospective territory, and of course when you've got a territory that's adjacent to that, with those anomalies overlapping and the contiguous nature of the geology in the region, there are a lot of reasons to be very excited there. Obviously, Palladium One's valuation is many, many times greater than the IPO valuation that the First Class Metals have. So if that project develops, if the team on the ground there discover something and start to get similar readings to the sort of numbers that are coming out of Palladium One, then I think that certainly is the flagship project, and I think we could see some significant developments there before the end of the year.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Alan, for presenting that case there for First Class Metals, which will be IPOing fairly soon. Certainly want to keep an eye on. I think that area is very interesting, very prolific for exploration, and thank you for putting that case together for us this morning.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. there's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programmes at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.